about you, but whenever I read the Bible, I'm always asking, okay, how did this person start? How were they going? And how did they end? Because my thing is, I always like to tell myself, Lord, I don't want to start great, but end terribly. I don't want to start, oh, I'm a woman of God, I'm passionate for you, and end terribly. And I was reading the story of Saul, and let me tell you, Saul's story is a story of a wasted potential. Sad, but true. Let's talk about it right here on Moments of Ethic. We'll talk about love, life, and God. I believe that there's no empty vessel. Everybody that God has placed on earth is meant for something. We all have a role that we ought to play for the world. Not everybody's going to be known by the entire world. Not everybody's going to be known by your entire country or by the entire community. However, we all have a pivotal and a very important role that we play when it comes to this entire journey called life. The only difference is this: there's some people who are currently wasting their potential, people who have wasted the potential, and people who will waste their potential. Now, when it comes to history, guys, there are people who watch history happens, people who make history happen, and there are people who, people who are just commentators and spectators and so forth. What side of history do you want to be? And I always would tell God, I said, Lord, I don't want to start great and end terrible. Because a lot of times people don't remember the beginning, they remember the end. So I was reading Saul's story and I was like, this guy did not want to be king. He was hiding, in fact. Israel was crying out for a king. He stood tall among all his brethren. He was so handsome and so beautiful. The Bible described him really well. He was handsome. He was fine looking. He was everything. He was what looked like a great king. He was the one. In fact, God chose him. Not only did God choose him, he had the backing of Samuel. Samuel, one of the greatest prophets that the Bible records. One of the one who literally makes in like Samuel. Y'all need to read the life of Samuel in the Bible. You would know he had the backing. It was so bad that God had to go to Samuel like, yo, Samuel, leave Saul alone. I'm done with him. David is the one. But God could not go ahead and make David to be the king because Samuel didn't want to leave Saul. That's how much Saul was favored. He had the backing of Samuel. He had people who were literally going with him. Remember when he was leaving? When there were other people who were like, nah, he can never be king. But there were other men who followed him. Like he literally had all of this. But how did he end up the way he ended? Tormented by spirits, left, right, and center, and died just like that. A wasted potential. What happened? I don't want to go into the whole gist, but I read this commentary by this amazing website I use. It's called Enduring Word. And I came across this commentary and I want to talk about it. It says right here by Morton, it says, Saul was a man than whom no other had greater opportunities, but his failure was disastrous. Of good standing in the nation, distinctively called and commissioned by God, honored with the friendship of Samuel, surrounded by a band of men whose hearts God had touched, everything was in his favor. From the beginning, he failed step by step. He declined in conduct and character until he went out. This is the story of King Saul, one of the greatest tragedies of the Bible. He was humble at his beginning, yet seeming to lack any genuine spiritual connection with God. He was easily and quickly corrupted by pride and fear. Saul becomes a tragic example of wasted potential. When I read this, I almost shed tears. Because how many souls do we have out there who have everything to their advantage, but they're either listening to the wrong people, allowing pride and ego to cloud their judgments. They are having sex left, right, and center, doing drugs left, right, and center, and so much. There's so much to unravel from the story of Saul. And this video is very short, but I just wanted to encourage my brothers and sisters who are out there. Listen, guys, don't waste your life. Are you listening? Do not waste your life. Be a man, be a woman who is grounded in God. But the Bible tells us the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And Bible also tells us that we should know the Lord, like have everything, but know the Lord. Know the Lord. Get to know God. Get to know God. Get to know God. And I repeat that over and over again. John 17 verse 3. Get to know God. Don't wait till you're 60, you're looking back and you wasted so much energy chasing what? What are you chasing David for? Like, bruh, what are you doing? Why are you here trying to please the people? You used to go to Samuel for every single thing. And now all of a sudden the people are saying, Samuel is taking so long. They're taking so long. And you're trying to appease the people that you go and touch what you're not supposed to touch. And your throne was taken away from you. Why? Because you were listening to people. The same people who will say, crucify him, and take their stones and be the first to throw at you. Why are you wasting your life trying to please people? That's what brought Saul down. He was prideful. He was proud. He was trying to please people and so forth, and trying to save face. Just like he told Samuel, please, when we go out there, please, I know this has happened already. My throne and everything has happened. Please, but when we go out there, don't disgrace me. I want to look good. If Saul had done what he was supposed to do, stay connected to God, we would not be speaking of the house of David today. We would be speaking of the house of Saul. You need to realize this, and this is not to instill fear in anybody, but your replacement is out there. God is equipping somebody to replace you just like that. Literally, you are not irreplaceable, honey. You are not irreplaceable. God is equipping somebody to replace you just like that. That doesn't mean that God won't do anything with you. What I'm saying is we are in control of how far God can take us. We're in control of how mighty, we're in control of what God can do with us. Don't waste your potential. Don't say, oh, I have all the time in the world. Oh, I'm still young. Oh, I'm still this. Don't do that. Be disciplined. Be grounded in God. That's all I'm going to say. Be grounded in Him. Because when you do that, when you're grounded in God, He begins to, like an onion, the yabasin kanda, begin to peel all these things. Pride, ego, self-centeredness, selfishness, laziness, fornication and adultery and murder and all this nasty side of us that it may not have manifested yet, but has a future potential for it too. But that can only happen when you stay grounded and stay connected to Him, and you stay in His words. But you are filled with so much amazing stuff, y'all. You just watching me right now, you are not a waste. You're not just a number in the eyes of God. You're not just a number in the world. Everybody has a role to play. There's no, and because I'm the pinky, I'm not important. So you can break your pinky and see what will happen. When you're walking and you stumble on your little toe and then you start limping, because that little toe is meant to help you with balance. But as small as it is, that's how mighty it is. You're not just a number in the world. You're not just a number to God. You're so important. So take your dreams, take your desires, take whatever it is that God has placed in your hand and where you are today, surrender it to Him, get to know Him, attach yourself to God. Like, yo, God, like Moses said, if you don't go, I'm not going. Because you don't want to start great and end disgracefully like Saul did. If David was wicked, David would have left him there, would not have gone and mourned for him and did all that stuff. Don't start great and end terribly. And I always tell God this. I said, Lord, help me. Anytime you see me going this way, and it seems as if I'm going down, I'd rather step out. Hide me if you need to. Hey, that prayer didn't hear you, but hide me if you need to. I don't want to start great and end terribly. Remember, it's not the person who starts the race that gets the award. It is the one who finishes that gets the trophy. So don't be a wasted potential. Saul had but he just, so many stuff was going on. Someone that was handpicked by God, had Samuel on your side. Demons are here tormenting you left, right, and center. You leaving battles and calling all sorts of people to go and catch David. One man, no. For what? For people? Because they're praising David. They said David killed 10,000. You only got one and you got upset. Fix yourself right now, people. We need to fix ourselves so we don't be a wasted potential and allow all these things to hijack what God has planned for you and I. So when I read the story of Saul, it's really a tragic story. It's really sad because he had a lot of potential. And because of him, his 3 sons suffered. Remember 3 sons, I believe it was 3 sons that died along with him. Jonathan suffered. Jonathan died young because of his dad's, because there are people connected to you. Because when you rise, everyone that's connected to you begins to rise, begins to learn what they're supposed to. When you are, when you're doing what you're supposed to do. But if you don't wake up from laziness, you don't wake up from pride, you don't wake up from whatever mediocre stuff you're doing, if you don't wake up from whatever la-la land you're in, there are people connected to you. One thing that makes me get up out of bed each day, even when my body says don't, when my mind is saying I'm done, when I'm fatigued, when I'm in my feelings, I should say, when things are not going accordingly, when I'm upset, when I get my nose and many no's and so forth, the thing that always keeps me going is number one, I said, Lord, there is somebody out there who is going to be inspired by this story, who's watching this life, whether indirectly or not, or directly, whether now or in the future, who would say, Fatmata bayon in dua, if Fatmata dua, ranani, uranani, Miss Fakodua. People are coming behind you. So that addiction that you find yourself, you're not able to push that jamba down, you're not able to that push every day, you go thief money just for whatever. You're wasting your life, my brothers and sisters. Time to wait for nobody. Somebody's behind you. And I know it's easier said than done, which is why I always tell people, get help. Seek out people. Yo, I am suffering from pride. Yo, I'm trying to stop masturbating, but I can't stop. I need help. Yo, I'm here. Anybody who if I see you with scat, I want AC justice. I want AC scat. I want pull you just. I want to do this. Help me. That's what we got to be. We need to know people who can be vulnerable to, we can talk to, and people who can talk and correct us. It got to a point that Samuel became scared of Saul. Samuel then used to go and talk to Saul. He said, when God told him to go and anoint David, he said, Lord, if I go, Samuel finds out, he's going to kill me. What? You got to a point that nobody can correct you. Nobody can talk to you. Hey, they say pride comes before what? The fall. And what happens? Saul in for door. So please, don't be like Saul. More learn with lesson from her. More waste what he got with the energy we get now. You young right now. Most of people that are watching, they're young. You're young right now. Don't make your energy go to waste. Don't waste your potential. You hearing me? Talk to Pussy. If you need help, talk to Pussy. But guys, let us, like the late Dr. Miles Moore will always say, let us die empty. Amen?